Hello students, myself Professor Ankur. I welcome everyone for the GATE theory session on analog circuits. Today we are going to discuss an important topic from the family of power amplifiers, that is class A power amplifier. This is our second session on power amplifier. Let's start with the session now. So first of all, we need to understand what do you mean by a class A power amplifier. The basic difference between a normal amplifier and a power amplifier is the power amplifier circuits, even if they look similar to the normal voltage amplifier, but the components and the resistances that we are going to use in the circuitry are completely different. The transistor that we are going to use for making such circuits are going to be power transistors, because we want to handle higher power, and because of this, if we want to handle higher power, we have to ensure that transistor is having the capacity to withstand higher current and higher voltage. Apart from that, the resistances ratings are being modified, the values will be modified so that the circuit is compatible with higher power and will support the amount of dissipation made due to the high energy signal. So coming back to the point of class A power amplifier, during the introduction part, we have already discussed that the Q point of the class A will be set at the center of the load line. The angle of the conduction is going to be 360, implies you will get 110% full cycle output. Obvious provision has to be made so that the output is not getting clipped from any of the ends, and the Q point is adjusted properly, and the current and the voltage limits are considered during designing so that the output values of current and the voltage don't cross the max limits of current IC and the voltage VC. To achieve the concept of full cycle output and the Q point at the center, we go for positive biasing. So if you want to go for a positive biasing, normally we prefer a potential divider bias circuitry with a battery to bias your transistor, because it gives us best possible thermal stability. And the overall efficiency of the circuitry of class A will be ranging from 25% to 50%. So the first circuitry that we are going to discuss in this session is a series fed class A power amplifier. If your observation is sharp, you can look at the figure on the left hand side. You will find a power transistor, resistances RC and RB, where RC will actually work like a load, a VCC power supply, a coupling capacitor C1, and an input source Vi. So the output will be taken from the collector end. So when we talk about the first part, that is the DC bias operation. So during the DC bias operation, the capacitor will work like open, and hence when you apply KVL to the input loop, which is VCC minus IBRB minus VB equal to 0, we'll get the value of IB. So the value of VBE for the transistor depends on the way in which the transistor or the family of the transistor which we are selecting for operation. So for our normal calculation, we are taking the value of VBE around 0.7 volt, but it is tending to vary as and when you change the family of the power transistor. So IC is going to be beta times IB, and when I apply KVL to the output loop, you will get VCE is equal to VCC minus ICRC. So as soon as I get the load line equation as IC is equal to minus 1 by RC VCE plus VCC by RC, automatically the value of IC max approaches VCC by RC, and the VC max will go to VCC. So if I join these 2 points, you will get a load line, and the Q point position will be placed somewhere at the center, defined by the term ICQ and VCQ. So when I try to measure the input DC power given to the circuitry, that input DC power will become VCC square by twice of R, RC, where RC is basically the load, and the AC power, output power, will be defined as VCC square by 8 RC. So the first thing we need to understand here is, when we talk about the power amplifier circuitries, we are not interested in the gain calculation or the input and the output impedance. We are basically focusing on the efficiency parameter of the class A circuits. So under this situation, we try to check the behavior of the circuitry for DC operation and then the AC behavior. So we need to understand an important point here, that whenever we talk about power amplifier, we are trying to check the output of the system, that is the AC output of the system, when the input AC source is active and the DC power is being in the on state. Because unless and until the DC power is on, unless and until the VCC is on, till that time, we cannot ensure that we will get output. We have to check carefully that the VCC is connected properly to the circuitry. Apart from that, we have to ensure that when you connect the input signal, the VCC supply is in the on state. So because of this, when you talk about the output will be in the form of AC, and the power that will be consumed, it will be in the form of DC. So that's the reason whenever you talk about the performance parameter as efficiency, it is always a ratio of output AC power by input DC power. If you look at the diagram carefully, many of them will get confused that we are giving an AC signal for amplification. So the input also has to be an AC input power. But that is a misconception, because the entire operation of amplification is due to the energy which is being given in the form of DC. Because amplifiers are circuitry which are using or utilizing DC energy for AC amplification. So unless and until we give the DC power, the AC amplification output is not possible. So if you observe carefully, the power that is consumed by the amplifiers for amplification is DC, and the power that is going to be at the output end, it is going to be AC. That's the reason the efficiency will be a ratio of POAC by PIDC into 100, if we express in form of percentage. For the series fed class A circuitry, we have already found out the value of POAC as VCC square by 8RC and PIDC as VCC square by 2RC. On substituting the values, the efficiency comes as 25%. So if you observe, the losses are on the higher side because you are getting 25% efficiency. So to boost the efficiency of the class A circuitry, the circuitry was modified, and the circuitry was converted into a transformer coupled class A power amplifier circuitry. So if you observe carefully, the biasing circuitry used here is a potential divider bias. Across the RE, we are having the bypass capacitor C. The input is connected to the base of the transistor with the help of coupling capacitor. So what is actually happening here? The input that will be given to the transistor for amplification, the transistor will amplify the energy and give it to the collector. So the collector is now as good as the primary coil of the transformer. So it is as good as the energy is being transferred from the transistor to the primary side of the transformer. From the primary, the energy will be given to the secondary in the impact of coupling. And once we go for effect of coupling, the energy will be coupled with the load. And that's the reason the circuitry is called as transformer coupled class A power amplifier. So normally we have transformer coupling with an impact of turns ratio. So we are aware that V2 by V1 is equal to N2 by N1 is equal to I1 by I2. This is a normal notation being used as a turns ratio. So now we need to understand that whenever we talk about the circuitry, you can imagine an imaginary load defined as RL dash, where RL dash will be taken as impact of load on the primary side. Or you can say that if the primary, secondary and the load is getting disconnected from the circuitry, RL dash will be the equivalent load connected to the collector. So that is the basic concept of equivalent load defined by the term RL dash. So now, as I've discussed, that if you want to calculate the value of RL dash, you can take a ratio of RL by RL dash, which will be V2 by I2 divided by V1 by I1. So on solving, you will get the value in terms of RL dash as N1 by N2 the whole square times RL. So this is the basic analogy of transformation of impedances. So the RL dash can be calculated easily as a factor N1 by N2 the whole square into the value of RL. So this is how you get the value of RL dash. So if you observe the position of the Q point, since it's a class A circuitry, the Q point will be placed at the center of the load line. The VCEQ will lie at VCC, implies the peak height of the signal is VCC. So if I measure the peak to peak height, it will be 2 VCC, and that will be the maximum limit of the VCE. The VCE max can go max up to twice of VCC. On similar lines, if I see the ICQ as a center line, the IC min value under ideal behavior will be 0, and the IC max value under ideal behavior will be equal to twice of ICQ. So this is the basic understanding here of the load line when you keep the Q point at the center of the load line and you study the AC signal behavior for the output. So now whenever we talk about the voltage swing, the value of VC peak to peak can be taken as VC max minus VC min. The current swing, which is IC peak to peak, can be taken as IC max minus IC min. The AC power output can be calculated using a formula Vmax minus Vmin into Imax minus Imin by 8. Normally the power is Vrms into Irms, which is Vm by root 2 into Im by root 2. So if you represent it in the other form, we will land up at the same equation, which is Vmax minus Vmin into Imax minus Imin by 8. So when I talk about the efficiency of the transformer coupled class A circuitry, if you see the input DC power, it will be VCC into ICQ, where the ICQ value will be VCC by RL dash. And when you talk about the AC output power, it will be VCC square by twice of RL dash. So when we talk about the efficiency, it is going to be P out AC by P in DC into 100. So on solving, we get the efficiency as 50%. So if you observe carefully, the series fed class A circuitry was giving you an efficiency of 25%, whereas when you talk about the transformer coupled class A circuitry, the efficiency goes to 50%. So we see a definite change in the value of efficiency. An important parameter to be understood or kept in mind here is a parameter defined as figure of merit. The figure of merit for class A circuitry is having a value of 2, which is basically defined as PD by PAC, where PD is basically the power dissipated or the power wasted by the system, and PAC is the output power. So if you look at the formula definition carefully, it is as good as the power wasted upon the output power, which is power important for us. So since the efficiency is less, you will find that the loss impact is going to be more. And that's the reason the parameter figure of merit is much bigger than 0. So it is going to be 2. Thank you.